opening heat. The start list that includes Karl FORSMAN of Sweden, the 19-year-old who won the breaststroke title, but McLEAN of New Zealand, Brazil's GLOCK, Van HOFWEEGEN of the Netherlands, and Yang Hong of People's Republic of China. Anders Olsen, that world record is not likely to be in danger during the day, although Bocciardi of Italy will swim in the second heat of 2, has been going close to the 5-minute mark in recent months. So welcoming the swimmers to the pool deck. FORSMAN, McLEAN, GLOCK, Van HOFWEEGEN and Yang. Support for Hamish McLEAN, a New Zealander who goes in lane 3. Brazilian Talisson GLOCK. A race under appeal. The 200 IM SM6 saw him touch the wall 4th, but has been promoted to bronze medal. It's not been confirmed as yet. Race under dispute. So clarification expected later today. There is McLEAN of New Zealand. FORSMAN, McLEAN, GLOCK, Van HOFWEEGEN and Yang. Into the pool and getting some good work in the underwater was Yang Hong of People's Republic of China. Van HOFWEEGEN is very quickly into his stroke and is taking it out very hard, is the young Dutch swimmer. Talisson GLOCK of Brazil is settled into a stroke, while absolutely very quick stroke is McLEAN of New Zealand. Only been competing for just over a year on the international circuit, only made his international debut for New Zealand's para-swimming team at the World Championships in Glasgow last year. And while he made the final of the men's 400 freestyle, he touched for 8th in that final, did young McLEAN, 16 years old, at his first Paralympic Games. Now it is Van HOFWEEGEN of the Netherlands who leads, but he's taking it out at a pretty brisk rate in the opening 100. The ambitious 19-year-old who has a tendency of taking it out hard. Does he have the back end? Talisson GLOCK has found a settled stroke as they hit the 100. It's the Dutch swimmer ahead of the Brazilian, ahead of the New Zealander.
Well, it looks as though the Dutch swimmer did settle slightly in that second 50, but he's maintaining that lead of about 2.5 body lengths at the moment ahead of Talisson GLOCK, who settled nicely in that first 50. And looks as though he's just lengthened his stroke a little into this second 100, and sitting off his right shoulder is Hamish McLEAN from New Zealand, looking comfortable. But at the moment, Van HOFWEEGEN having a great swim. He actually extended his lead just ever so slightly at the 150-metre mark, touching the wall at 152.74, easily ahead of GLOCK and McLEAN. GLOCK is 6 seconds behind at the moment. He won't want to lose touch entirely, even though he does know he has a strong back end. Had a big program on day 5, swimming in the IM heat and final, so maybe feeling a little fatigued and maybe just trying to swim conservatively this morning.
You'd expect him to be swimming conservatively and just to save his energy for the prospect of the final. Talisson GLOCK of Brazil. Individual medley takes a great deal out of the swimmers. It is physically rather punishing, mentally as well. The stresses on the body and the mind of the individual medley are not to be underestimated. It requires a mastery of all the strokes, and GLOCK really pushing it hard in the IM on day 5. But Van HOFWEEGEN, who missed out in the middle in the 50 free, although he made the final and indeed missed out in the medal in the 100 back, a race which he tried to take out hard, is now going in one of his favorite events and looking to take control of this situation. Hamish McLEAN has got a good stroke rate, and he's at the moment just on the left of your screen. Van HOFWEEGEN touching in a very comfortable lead at the 250 mark. Talisson GLOCK turning second. McLEAN just off his shoulder touches third quickest. Going up to the 330 mark, and Yang Hong of People's Republic of China, despite his very strong starts and good underwaters over the longer distance in the 400 free, it doesn't really count for much. Karl of Sweden, a champion of the 100 breaststroke, is going in lane 2 and touches now 3:45.36. But on the opposite end of the pool, working his way into the last 100 is Van HOFWEEGEN. The Dutch swimmer is looking to show that he's got the strength to really challenge for a big time in the final.
Well, he's really making a statement with his heat swim at the moment, and you can see that lead, it's extended even further. I do like what I've seen from GLOCK and McLEAN, though. They've just settled in and cruising, and I suspect doing what they need to do. There's 5 swimmers in heat 1 and 6 swimmers in heat 2, so the fastest 8 will go through to the final. And remembering that swimming 400 heat in the morning session followed by a final in the evening session, if you've got a packed program, is extremely taxing. So Van HOFWEEGEN, while he wants to send a message to the rest of the field, I think that the local hope, GLOCK and McLEAN, know what they need, and they want to keep some in reserve, not just for the evening session, but for the rest of the program.
Oh, the crowd willing Talisson GLOCK to finish ahead of McLEAN of New Zealand, who's finishing fairly strongly. He's got a little bit of a choppier stroke now as McLEAN. It just shortens and is looking for a little spurt speed, but the clear victor in this race is the 19-year-old who trains in Amersfoort in the Netherlands. Van HOFWEEGEN touches well ahead of the next 2. GLOCK and McLEAN going to the wall. Will it be GLOCK or will it be McLEAN? It'll come down to the stroke here, and it's GLOCK just ahead of McLEAN, to the delight of the home faithful. But Van HOFWEEGEN, an admirer of the great 100-meter sprinter Peter van den Hoogenband, after whom the pool in Eindhoven is named Hugie Temeni. To the wall comes Yang Hong and FORSMAN of Sweden, the 19-year-old who will be wanting to improve on a range of his strokes. The breaststroke is certainly his strongest. Very powerful swimmer, pull himself through the water with speed over the shorter distances, and the 400 freestyle is finding it a little too draining perhaps. But Van HOFWEEGEN of Netherlands claims the victory in the opening heat in a very decent time, a 5:11.79. Hamish McLEAN touched third behind this man Talisson GLOCK. There is McLEAN. He's very pleased with his time. That's a big personal best for McLEAN, bettering his own personal best by 5 odd seconds, and a new Oceania record for the New Zealander. It turned into a bit of a race between GLOCK and McLEAN in the closing stages, but there was only one swimmer challenging for the title, or the first touch in the race, and the Dutch swimmer not disappointing.